everyone, my name's Christy. Welcome to my corner. Thanks for joining me today for Flosstube number 79. I did check, and this is, I think, my first Flosstube in June. I think it's like the 18th. It's been probably about 3 weeks since my last Flosstube. I have been very busy, so I will talk about my busyness at the end and the things that I've been doing. I do have quite a bit of stitching to show you. I have two FOs. Who am I? I have several whips, and I have a good number of plans that I think are kind of interesting, so I'm going to talk about them. But before we get to any of that, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me on my crafty and artistic adventures, and welcome back to anyone who's been hanging out with me for however long you've been with me. It's been great to get to know you in the comments here on YouTube and also on Instagram. And if you're not following me on Instagram, you can find me in two places. One of them is active, one of them is not active at this moment, but I'm hoping that will change, although I say that every single time I do this introduction. So I'll put them right here. My active Instagram is Dr_Christy, and that's where I post, I mean, that's kind of my personal and artistic, you know, stitching one. So I post my daily life, I post my dog, I post my stitching during the day, that kind of a thing, and other crafty things that I do. And then the second one is the spoolery, and that is my sort of homage to vintage wooden spools and the things that come off of them. So that's where I post things like my weavings and my spool jewelry and stuff like that. Hence spoolery. I thought I was clever. I don't know that I'm clever. But if you're interested in seeing what I'm doing during the week, that's where you can find me on social media. This is a channel about embroidery and cross stitch and other textile crafts and history and weaving and the history of those things. So if any of that is interesting to you and you're not subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe and stick around. So I'm just gonna dive right into the stitching. I have two FOs, like I said, two finished objects. The first one is one that I've been talking about for a while, and it is a start and finish. So I've started it and finished it since last time I saw you. I have mentioned a couple times that I want to do an online free surface embroidery class where I design an embroidery piece that is a sampler, essentially a stitch sampler, and in this case I'm doing the eight most common stitches, I would say, that will work together in a piece that I will then show you how to do, like how to pick fabric, how to pick floss, how to hoop it, how to do all these different things. So that's like the first video, and then the different stitches, and then at the end we'll finish it into a needle book. It'll have a little, I want it to have a little pouch for scissors or someplace to put scissors, because I love my scissors and I want them to have a place where they can live. So I designed something and I stitched it. I stitched the first version of it. So I will just show you what I designed. So this is the pattern that I have designed. I'm still not thrilled with the thimble, but the rest of it I like pretty well. And the first round of test stitching is just done in DMC Blanc on black fabric. Because what I wanted, the point of this one is to test the stitches, see what stitches I want to do, see if the stitches I like work in actual fabric, see how many strands of thread I want to use in each thing. So here we have 8 different stitches, and I'm still not thrilled about the thimble, although I do like it better with the 3, you know, layers of holes or divots that thimbles have. But I think it's this bottom part that I don't like. I think it comes out too far. So that is my first finish. Now the next thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to tweak the pattern a little bit, and I'm going to stitch it in color on white fabric and, you know, pick colors for everything. And then the third time and finish it, I'm going to finish that one into a needle book. And then the third finish, the third time I stitch it is going to be on camera, and that's where the lessons come in. So I will have stitched it twice, hopefully gotten all the bugs out before the third time. That's my first finish, and I'm really happy with it. Well, that's actually my second finish, because I just finished that on a Stitchy Zoom call. My first finish is something that I've been working on for a little over a year. and that is my Lindy Stitches Hedgehog House quilt. Guys, look at my hedgehog! Look at my hedgehog! So for this pattern, this was part of Tony the Stubborn Stitcher's idea last year for a Stitch Mayhem, where you basically try something new. And what I decided to try was to mosaic quilt a cross stitch pattern. So I'd gotten the hedgehog house. This is what the hedgehog house looks like. I'd gotten this in a stitchy box, I think. And I thought that it was so cute. So I decided just to take the hedgehog and a little hill and a flower and make it into a quilt. And then this is what the back looks like. So you can see it's all lots of little pieces. These are 1 by 1 inch squares. I'm sorry that my chair is squeaky. It's unattractive, but this is the world we live in. Squeaky chairs and all. But this is the back. So it's lots of, like I said, lots of little 1 inch squares. I made some mistakes. So all of the rows are hand pieced. And some of the things got mixed up. So I had to kind of rip them out and then re-sew them. But all of the, so the individual squares are hand sewn into rows. And then the rows I decided to machine sew into a front quilt top, because if I had to hand sew it, it was never going to get done. Look at that. I love it. I want to turn this into a little tapestry because it's only, I don't know, 2 feet, 2.5 feet wide. I haven't measured it yet. It's not actually useful for any kind of covering of the body warmth. Like, this would be a great tiny dog blanket, but there's no way that I'm making this into a tiny dog blanket. So I think my plan is to make it a wall hanging quilt. And I have a red couch right here. So and I have a big old blank space on the wall. So I'm gonna put it on the wall. My hedgehog house quilt. And I'm so pleased with it. I'm so pleased with it. Finishing this quilt top was my goal for May of 2022, this past May. And I did. I finished it before I left on my work trip. So that was super duper duper exciting. And I did post about this on Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen it. But now you've seen it live, and in person. So those are my finishes. Oh, the other thing I didn't say is that I have a bunch of haul coming because I stopped at 2 stitchy shops when I was away. And in fact, I filmed a little. So I'll put it at the end, but I can talk about that later.
Hey everyone, Editing Christy here. I just wanted to pop in because there were 2 things that I forgot and there was kind of a lull in the video, so I thought now would be a good time. The first thing is that I had a giveaway in episode 76, which was for this individualized, personalized solar system chart that I released on June 1st. And the winner never contacted me. So the winner is Lauren, and I will just kind of show you the screen of her comment right here. And she said, all I know is Lauren is the only name I have here. Worked on catching up on my temperature library while watching you. My favorite planet is Venus. And I did comment on your comment. So if you could get back to me in the next week, that would be great. And I will get that pattern out to you in the next week or so. And if I don't hear from her, I will choose a new winner from episode 76. So if you are interested in possibly winning this chart, go back to episode 76 and watch the video and put in the keyword. So that is, yeah. So then I will draw a new winner if I don't hear from Lauren. Hopefully next Friday will be my next video. The other thing that I totally forgot to talk about is that my friend Haley Gilmore and I, she is a local artist and graphic designer, designed this chart together, which is a protest piece and was released for the 5-year anniversary of the Women's March on Washington back in January. And with the leaked decision on Roe v. Wade back in April or May, we decided to make this into a charity chart where we would donate all proceeds, which is with after fees and stuff is about $5 per chart, to a local abortion charity. So we live in the Deep South. In fact, the case that got taken up to the Supreme Court came from our state. It's a very, basically, if Roe v. Wade, or when Roe v. Wade gets knocked down, we will be, the women in Mississippi will be heavily affected by the decision. So we want to kind of focus on local. So if you're interested in helping out women in the Deep South and have been thinking about stitching a protest feminist piece, you can find this piece in my Etsy shop, which is listed down below, and it will be a charity piece through the end of June. So that's the second month. So you have, I don't know, a little over a week, almost 2 weeks to pick that up if you're interested. I don't know which charity we're going to choose yet. We haven't discussed that. We kind of want to see how things fall and what will be most helpful for our local community. But I will let you know at the end of sometime in July how much we raise and where that money is going to go. So I think that will feel really good. It'll feel like I'm doing something. And the hashtag, there is a hashtag, it's like a sort of a protest hashtag, is hashtag still marching Sal. So if you want to participate in stitching this pattern or another protest piece, you can please use that hashtag, and I will I'd love to see it. Also, Haley and I are I actually saw Haley last night at an arts festival, which is why this is getting edited and posted on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon by the time I'm done. But we have some ideas for a future pattern, so I'm pretty excited about that. She's a really, really talented artist, and I'm excited to work more with her. So with all that, I'm going to send you back to past Christy, and let's talk about whips. Bye.
All right, I have 3 whips. 3 whips. My first whip you'll be seeing for the rest of my life is my Heaven and Earth design, my HAED, Lady in the Unicorn. This is what it's going to look like. And I'm going to see if I can find a picture. I will try and find a good picture of where I was, and if I do, I'll put that right here. And then I will show you where I am now. So I am working my way down the left side, the right side, working my way down the right side, because I stitch in hand and I use the sewing method. So I kind of sew from right to left. And I'm down to the bottom here is the beginning of that carpet that all like the main activity is happening on. So that's kind of where I'm working to. I kind of want to fill this out some more. I added another couple of colors. In fact, I went and bought some colors yesterday. Like a brown, a 900 color brown. But anyway, it's coming along, I think. So let me hold this up for next progress shot, so I can get a good look at it. There we go. I think that's probably enough. But I've also been filling, actually I think I may have used 2 new colors since last time I saw you, a dark navy and a medium brown, because I filled in a bunch of this black here is actually a navy and not black. And I also put in some 666, which I hadn't used yet. So all sorts of activity happening on this, and I have no idea if you can actually see the difference. I hope you can, because I'm at, I think, almost 7.5%, almost, I think I'm over 16,500 stitches on this. And I started this on my birthday. This was my birthday start. So I started this on my birthday, and my plan is to have it, I want it done in 5 years. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm slightly behind, but I'm not terribly behind, and I have been catching up rather successfully, I think. This is on a 20 count ivory aida that I got as a prize for Carrie from Carrie and Stitch's 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So she helped me fund this, and I am gridding it every 5 squares, every 5 stitches in a friction pen. And I do 5 stitches because I have trouble counting. And in fact, I did have a frogging issue because I was 5 stitches too far up. So I had to kind of pull out a couple hundred stitches, which didn't take too long, and in the scheme of things, like, isn't a big deal, but it was frustrating. So I did that, and then I just went to bed and didn't like work on it anymore. And what I'm finding is that my counting is not always correct, and as I go through, I use Pattern Keeper, and as I go through, I'm finding that I'm missing stitches, or I'm like putting stitches in the wrong place, and I'm literally, it's the background, so I'm literally just like adding random colored stitches to like fill in those gaps. So I don't think in the end anyone will ever notice, and I'm not like ripping stuff out. Because this is what the back looks like, right? Like, I'm doing cross country here. This is what the back looks like. There is no way I'm ripping out like individual stitches in this mess. Not happening. And because it's background and it feels kind of random anyway, no one's gonna notice. And of course I'm doing it in all the color DMC. So that is my Lady and Unicorn charted by Heaven and Earth Design. It's a medieval tapestry at the Musée de Cluny in Paris. And I'm a medieval historian, so I hope that someday this will be on my office wall at work. And I've already bought the other 5. There are 5 other ones. So I basically have a HAED to stitch for the rest of my stitching life. That's my first whip. My second whip is in my books bag. Oh, and that bag was given to me by Jody of Trixie Tricycle. It is a bag from a Black Needle Society box. My second whip is my temperature drinks shelf. This is what it's going to look like. And this is something that I designed in honor of my mom and Chevis of Chevy Rails Stuff podcast. They both have knitting podcasts. So I thought that it would be fun to do drinks. And I have others. I'm not a very good saleswoman. I have other temperature patterns as well. You can find all of them in my what's it called? The description box down below. The description box. You can find my Etsy shop in the description box down below. And I am currently working on a second knick-knack expansion pack. So my hope is that that will come out in early July. That's the hope. But before we get to any of that, before we get to July, let me show you what I have. So I have almost finished May. I have all the glasses for May. And then I did the shelf itself with a little hanger on for June. And I'm a little bit excited because we're supposed to get really, really hot this week. Like, I may have to add black to like for a dark color. And I'm so excited. So May, we had a couple hot days in May, but June is going to be the hot month, I think. And I'm thrilled. And it just fell on the floor. Whoops. You may have shaken too, because I think it fell on the cord. Anywho, so what I need to do is fill in the last 2 drinks of May and then do all my glasses for June. And then I can work on that. And I usually work on this with my mom on Sunday night, so I'll probably just do glasses for June tomorrow night, because today's Saturday. So I'll probably just do glasses for June tomorrow night and then fill them in. Because once you have the glasses done, filling them in is like super quick. I mean, I think I filled all these glasses in one session with my mom because I already had the glasses done. Because it's not like you're counting anything. You're just like filling in, you're just pouring drinks, man. Just pouring drinks. So that is where I am with my temperature drink shelf. I'm pretty pleased. Oh no, I just dumped out all my DMC on the floor. Hold on one second. I'm going to clean that up before I keep going. All right, we're back. Let me fix my hair. We're back. Yeah, so I keep kind of my full skeins of DMC just kind of hanging out in the bag. And then I have a floss card. I'll show you my system in case anyone's wondering. I have a floss card that I made, and I have the temperatures and the colors on my floss card so I don't have to look it up. And then I just wrap it up like this and put it in my bag. And like I said, I stitch in hand, so this just gets rolled up into kind of a tube and stuck in the bag as well. and that's how I store it. And so far it's working fine. And I use the same colors from year to year, although I did change them a little bit from last year. But for going forward, I will use the same colors from year to year, so it will be an easy, you know, way to transition. We'll say that. And then my third whip, oh my God, I'm so squeaky on my chair. It's like a pleather. It's like a pleather chair. It's a red and white pleather chair, and it's a little bit warm in here, and it's so squeaky. I promise that's my chair and not like, we won't even go there. It's my chair, I promise. So my last whip is a freehand embroidery whip, and it's part of my Sleuths series. This is the third part, and it is Sherlock Holmes. And so Sherlock Holmes now has a pipe and gloves, a tie and collar, and a quarter of a hat. So that's fun. And the really fun thing is that I'm kind of a big deal now. You didn't know this, but I'm kind of a big deal now. As some of you know, I have recently joined the Embroiderers Guild of America. In fact, I got their magazine like a couple days ago, so we'll do a flip through of that at some point next week. So I tag them, you know, I'm a member and I'm stitching. So I tag them in my Sleuth series, and they shared it. I'm so excited. They shared my stitching. So I'll show you what they shared. They shared Poirot and Phryne Fisher. So the first one is Miss Fisher's Mysteries. That's the first one. The second one is Hercule Poirot, the David Suchet version, OBS. And then my third one is Sherlock Holmes, the Jeremy Brett version. And then I will have Columbo, Miss Marple, the Joanna Hicks version, again, OBS. And Columbo, I don't know if I said Columbo. Columbo, Jessica Fletcher, Miss Marple. Those are the other three. So this will be a 6-part Sleuth series. So those are all of my whips. I don't think that I did anything else. I haven't had anything on my loom in ages. So there's no what's on the loom session. So I'm folding things. I haven't had anything on my loom, so I don't have anything to show you there. But I did get a lot of stitchy stash enhancements and weaving stash enhancements. Oh, and this is just kept in this bag because although I have 100,000 yards of fabric that I keep planning on making project bags out of, that doesn't happen. So no project bags for me. I think I'm gonna do plans next, and then I'll do my haul. I think that's probably the easiest way to go. Oh, and I am not going to get the next Black Needle Society box. It's Christmas in July. And I just don't do Christmas stitching in that way. So there's really no point in me getting an entire box of Christmas stitching or Christmas stuff. Like I'm not religious at all, and so I celebrate Christmas culturally with my family, but I don't normally decorate very much. Anyway, Christmas is not my favorite holiday, and so I don't see the need to get an entire Christmas box. So my next Black Needle Society box will be in September, which apparently is just all stitchy stuff. So it's none of the lifestyle stuff. So let's talk about plans. I had already mentioned my plans to do this in color. So I want to do that and redesign. Now that I see it stitched, I actually don't hate the thimble. I just need to fix this bottom. So I think I'm going to keep the thimble, but so I want to stitch this in color. That's my plan. In fact, I think before I even go and edit and render this, I'm going to get that organized. Oh no, I can't because I have to design it and print it out. So never mind. So that's a thing I want to do this week, and I want to hopefully get that redesigned, stitched for next week. That's the plan. I want to work on my Heaven and Earth design. I want to keep making progress on that, on my Lady and the Unicorn. I would love to finish Sherlock Holmes this week. That would be kind of amazing. The two more interesting things, maybe not interesting for you, but interesting for me, things that I want to do is my husband ripped his jeans. He caught his knee on a trunk in the attic, and it's like one of those perfect, like right on the grain rips. So I'm figuring out ways, and he loves these jeans. They fit him really well. So I'm figuring out ways to like mend them invisibly. Like, I love me a visible mend. He's not so fond of visible mending, so I'm trying to figure that out. My first step was to do this here. I don't know if you can see, but I don't like this pucker, so I'm going to take that out and try something else. So that's my first like plan, is to mend that. I just threw it on a chair. My second plan is that I mentioned this before, but I got some peel and stick patterns from M Creative J, who is an embroidery artist that I follow on Instagram. And these were given to me to do a review. And these, I got a bunch of them, but these are the mushrooms. So I'm going to take these and embroider on, I have a black button down, and this button down has a very extreme high-low hem. So the front is like a normal shirt, and the back is, I mean, almost goes to my knees. So it's very dramatic, and I want to put some mushrooms on the collar. So I want to, and I think I'm going to set that up actually before I leave. This I am going to set up before I leave. So I brought it with me, but I thought that little white and ecru and beige mushrooms would be super cute on this. And then that'll, I'll have a review video of this, and I have a couple other ones too that I want to put on other clothing, or I also want to make one into a pin, and that'll be coming at the end of, the review will be coming at the end of June. I don't plan on doing like a tutorial video. She has tutorial videos. This is just going to be a sponsored review. So that's that. And then I may, I definitely want to throw something on a loom, because I want to start a new weaving project, because it's been a while and I want to try some things. One of the things I want to try is my friend has a laser cutter. It's not a glow forge, but it's similar. She's like an engineer, so she kind of got a different brand that's not as like user friendly, because she knows how to use it. But she made me a little loom, a little flat pack loom. She's also the president of the board, or the chair of the board, for our local arts council. And so the hope is that this little loom that she made will be good for classes, like art classes at the arts council. And the reason why I'm interested in that is because I really want to plan art classes and other activities for tweens and teens. I feel like when it comes to activities in small cities like I live in, I mean, we only have 25,000 people. We're a small, I mean, many people would call us a small town, but for around here, we're a small city. And I feel like there's a lot of stuff for little kids to do. There's a lot of stuff for adults to do. But this like tween and teen age, where they're like too old for story time, but they're too young for the beer garden and bands and stuff, and like poetry readings, that they're missing. It's missing something. So this would be a really fun activity for kids, for like tweens and teen kids, that they would like, I think. And she can make these really quickly. Like, she just like sets it up and does what, she works from home a lot. So she just like sets it up in the room and makes them. And then we can, you know, help kids learn how to do art in a kind of art that's like hip and trendy right now, right? Because I'm nothing if not hip and trendy. All right, so those are my plans. I have other things I want to do if I have time, but I'm not gonna I'm not going to bore you with those because they probably won't happen. So let's talk about my stash enhancement. I went away for work. I left on the June 1st. I got back on the 9th. Basically, I drove 10 hours, scored about 1,100 essays for 7 days, drove 10 hours back, crashed out, which is why I didn't get a video last Friday. And then kind of and then my air conditioner went out again for 4 days. So I spent time dealing with that. And now we're all back and I'm rested and all that good stuff. So I do want to, but while I was away, I was in Kansas City, Missouri. And I'd hoped to meet up with my friend Judy, but we apparently didn't have enough people scoring because they kept us late almost every day. Like, I was exhausted. I usually try to do some fun things in Kansas City that I can't do here, and I was exhausted. And just to give you a little update, it didn't help that the hotel I was staying in a Hilton, which should have been nice. It was a nightmare. My first night I had bed bugs, like, not gonna lie, actual honest to goodness bed bugs. And then they put me in the room next door, which you never do with bed bugs. And it was such a horrible room. I couldn't access Wi-Fi. It was like too far away from the Wi-Fi hub. Sorry, you're getting apparently my trip before we get to my Stitchy stash enhancement because it came from there. So I couldn't do the Wi-Fi, so it couldn't work. There was like tomato sauce or something crusted into the carpet. The bed was so uncomfortable. I woke up in the middle of the night one night just like almost in tears. I was in so much pain. Like, my whole body hurt. And I was even going to just deal with it because I didn't want to like worry about moving again. And then I flushed the toilet like the next morning. I was probably there for 2 nights. And on the morning of the third or fourth morning, I flushed the toilet and literal like pee water shot out of the toilet and like splashed on the floor. And I'm like, nope, I'm done. So I packed up my bags and I went downstairs and I said, here's the deal. And I kept asking about the bed bugs and like no one knew anything. And I'm like, that's not good. So I went downstairs and I said, here's the deal. I'm not staying in that room again. So either you're going to give me a new room or I'm calling HR and they'll put me in a different hotel because I am not staying in that room one more night. Like, it is not happening. So they put me in a third room, which was on like the mezzanine floor, which in Europe would be the first floor and in America is the second floor. And it was so loud. Like, I don't think I slept at all. Well, I certainly didn't sleep well the entire time I was gone. So anyway, but I decided that I would look to see if there were stitchy shops, needlework shops in Kansas City. And there are 2. One of them is a cross stitch shop and one of them is a needlepoint shop. So it's like canvas. Like actual needlepoint. But I got stuff at both. So I'm going to start with, and this bag, the first one is, and I'm going to mess up the name. It's CC Company in Blue Springs, Missouri. And I'm just going to show you what I got. I got a bunch of different flosses. So there's going to be a lot of floss action. And I got some fabric. They had, I'm sorry, I didn't take this out at all. I'm completely unprepared. They had a whole pile of offcuts. And so this was a 12 by 13 and it's a 14 count offcut. I'll put it this way maybe. And it's kind of a slate blue with some darker slate blue modeling. I don't have any idea about the dyer at all. But I thought that was very pretty, and this might work for my, it might not be big enough. I was thinking, I keep trying to find the right fabric for my what's it called, bee? My steampunk bee from my Black Needle Society box. If this is big enough, I think this would actually look really nice. I also decided to get some fabric that wasn't in like the scrap pile. So I got Mystic Fabrics Mother Nature. So I'll open it up and show you. This is a 16 count Aida. Part of the problem I ran into is that, you know, most people who buy fancy fabric, sorry, I'm picking a little fuzz off it. Most people who buy fancy fabric use like even weave or linen. And so it's kind of hard to find Aida, but how beautiful is that? Isn't that nice? Yeah, so I'm going to put something really fun and earthy, I think, on this. Hence, you know, it's called Mother Nature. And I'm excited to have this in my stash. I'm keeping it in the bag for now, but I think it'll come out of the bag eventually. So that is Mystic Fabrics, Mother Nature. I think it's a fat quarter. 16 count Aida. I think everything else I bought was floss and scissors. So, oh, and some needles. So I got some, and this is all from CC and Company. CC and Company outside of Kansas City. I got some John James needles. I got a size 28, which is what I use for my HAED. And then I also got Mary Arden tapestry needles in size 28, so I can test them out, see if I like one more than the other. And then I also got, I thought I also got some petite John James, but apparently I did not. So I think I may have put, no, I was gonna get, anyway, it doesn't matter. But I did get a bunch of threads. So I got Gentle Art Royal Purple, and these don't have any plans, but I could not pass that up. Royal Purple. And then I also got Classic Colorworks Baby Blanket. And I got this thinking it might be a cute option for another Jane Austen floral. It's very washed out. There we go. That's better. So we'll see. We'll see. Because I love this piece still, and I would love to recreate it. It was originally done in a Dying for Cross Stitch color that I don't know that she makes anymore. Classic Colorworks Baby Blanket. And then I was going to get some more Classic Colorworks and stuff until I saw Color Wash, a whole line of Color Wash hand painted silks. And I just thought these were so beautiful. They're 6 yards. They don't have names, they have numbers. This is 518, and it's a like slate blue to green fade. This is 502, which is a green, teal, orange, blue fade, which could be really fun for something. This is 558, which is not really variegated. There we go. Oh, no. There we go. That's kind of a light blue. And then I have 2 browns, and this one is like a navy, brown, and beige. The navy makes it interesting, I think. Oh, and that is 591. And then this one is, oh, and it's 12 ply silk, by the way. And this one is 587. And it's a bit warmer in person than it is on the screen. So it is like a terracotta. This that looks very copper is more of a terracotta, if that helps you. So it's sort of like terracotta, medium brown, taupey, and then beige. So that's what I got at CC and Company. And I'll post a video here of what the inside looks like. It's a very kind of, when I think of a cross stitch shop, it's like an old school cross stitch shop. So I'll show a video here. And the next place I went is KC Needlepoint in Kansas City. And they are, like I said, a needlepoint shop. So they sell a lot of wool. They sell a lot of printed needlepoint canvases. They're not cross stitch at all, but they had some really great supplies. So I did get some scissors. I'll show you those first. So I got these adorable scissors. I thought they were really pretty. They are two-tone stork scissors. I like the two tones. And then I got 3 tiny scissors. I got them in all the colors they had, which was green, pink, and yellow. But this is attached, and they're just like tiny. And I think they're adorable. So the cover is attached to it by this little thing. So I got 3 of those. They were like $3 each. So one of these is going to be a giveaway at some point, because they're so adorable and they'd be really cheap to ship. So that's fun. That's the first thing I got. And then I got a pile of thread. Oh, here are my tapestry petites. I got tapestry petites. I'm pretty sure I got these from CC and Company. They all the bags were sort of jumbled together, so that makes sense to me. I got some sparklies. I was apparently feeling really in a rainbow mood. So I will show you my sparklies first, and then I got some silk. So I got some Twinkle by Gone Stitchin'. It's 10 yards of rayon metallic, and this is Comet. Oh yeah, look at that. You can really see that sparkle. So that's Comet. And then from the same company, I got Diamond, which you can't see the sparkle as much, but it's a very rainbow sparkle in there. Yeah, it's a very rainbow sparkle. I got Crystal Braid, and this is a 12 strand. Again, rainbow. Yeah, it looks like it's sort of shining gold. It's not. The shine is like that bluey iridescent shine is what it actually is in person. And then I got, what is this? This is Threadworks Krynic number 12 braid, and it is, well, 91154. I'm almost thinking I want to make this, except that it's already stranded, but I would love to make this into like a warp for, actually any of them would be really fun warps for a small stitched something or other. So we'll have to see. But I had to buy it. It was super rainbow. I love it. So I got that. And then I got a bunch of silks. They had silks that I hadn't seen before. And they are, oh no, oh, I also got Threadworks. And this is just cotton floss, and it's 10592, which again, I keep, for some reason I want to create this, my Jane Austen, apparently. And so I keep getting these like little, like pastel-y rainbow variegateds and hoping that something is exciting for me. So the last thing I got was, I got a bunch of Planet Earth fiber, which is a silk company. This is a 6-ply silk, and it's hand painted. So this is called Beach 5. And there we go, that's better. Again, it's a little bit yellower. It's more of a beige. I got Mustang. Oh, I guess the V, it says Mustang V and Beach V, so I guess it's just Beach and Mustang. This is Mustang. I'm assuming like the horse. And Sauna. And in general, I like to go for various variegateds because different dyers do variegateds in different ways. Whereas if you're going to get like a flat tonal, you can get that anywhere. It's the variegated for me that make hand-dyed fabric so exciting. So yeah, so that's kind of why I went. They had non-tonals, but I really like the tonals. This is Malta. And again, it's bluer. It's a much greener on my end. It's a very much a tealy, it's very tealy. This is not teal for what I'm seeing on my camera. Shrub, which is a light variegated green. And I don't know that I have a ton of greens, so I wanted more greens, although I might. I do have a ton of greens. I got a lot of greens anyway, because in my mind, I don't have very many greens. This is green foliage, which is a medium green. And algae, which again is greener than it looks in this film. And Ontario. It's a beautiful periwinkle, which is more gray and violet in person. So that is what I got at KC Needlepoint. And they have like a needlepoint club, like a book club. And oh, I have a video. I'll show you the video of KC Needlepoint, and they were much more like bright and modern. Both of them were charming in their own way, which was really nice. They were just very different stores. So I'll show you a video of that one here. That I got, which I hadn't planned on. I went to Michael's, which is our local craft store, yesterday to get some DMCs to add some new colors to my Lady and Unicorn. And on my way back, I noticed that a bunch of their like $10 yarns were $2. I'm looking at the pile. Here's a picture of what my cart looked like. I may have gotten a little carried away. I may have gotten 20 or so. I haven't counted, but it maybe as many as 20. So yeah, so I have to start weaving stuff because I have all of this yarn now. I honestly don't know where it's going. It filled up the entire cart. I don't know where it's going, but I have it and it makes me happy. And it's not like super high quality yarn. I mean, it's like acrylic, but it's soft and it's colorful and it has interesting textures and I can make fun things out of it. So that's the plan for that. I think that's it. I think I've talked about everything I want to talk about, but I'm happy to visit with you again. It's been 3 weeks, so I think for 3 weeks, 45 minutes isn't so bad. And I'm hoping that now that I'm home for about a month. Now that I'm home, I'll have time to, you know, get caught up on things. I am teaching a class this summer and that starts at the end of the month. It starts actually, like a week and a half. So I need to get that ready this coming week too. But I should have a good amount of time for stitching and crafting and weaving, and it'll be so nice. I definitely need a break. Definitely need a break. So I will hopefully see you on Tuesday for a flip through of the Embroidery Guild of America, the magazine. And then I will hopefully see you next Friday for a Flosstube update. And I will hopefully have some finishes for you, which will be super exciting. Anyway, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week, and please take good care of yourselves and have a good one. Bye.